I just saw Disney Pixar's newest movie, Onward, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. I loved this movie so much. Like all my other movie reviews, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of non-spoiler stuff and then a lot of spoiler stuff because that's the fun part that I want to talk about. So this is the non-spoiler section, so if you have not seen the movie, here we go. This movie is classic Pixar. It's got all the feels, happy, joy, sad, on the edge of your seat, love all these characters, like everything that Pixar is in this movie. And then a lot of the things that Pixar was originally supposed to be, like original stories. We have a brand new story. This is not a sequel. And things we've come to learn about Pixar is there is so much detail in this movie, distractingly so, which we'll talk about later. Everything is thought of. Everything. Nothing is left behind in this movie. And again, we get brand new characters that we just fall in love with. So the story is about two brothers who live in this world of magical creatures who don't use magic. Not because they can't use magic, it's just because it has become convenient not to. So it has a little bit of those WALL-E vibes where people are floating in chairs, not because they can't walk, just because they don't have to. So they live in this world where magic was almost an inconvenience because you had to learn and try and fail to succeed, so they kind of just gave up. So this is our world. We live in a modern day magical world. But on the youngest brother's 16th birthday, the mom gives the brothers a gift from their dad, who obviously has passed away. And it's a magical gift, so they get this spell to bring their dad back for one day. Can you feel it already? Yeah, yeah. So they try the spell, it goes a little haywire, and so they go on this quest to finish the spell to meet their dad. That's the gist of the movie. And an interesting twist, which I don't think is a spoiler, is that the younger brother never met their dad. The dad died before he was even born, so the older brother has just a handful of memories of his dad because he was young as well, but the younger brother had never met him, so this is why it's such a big deal that he could bring him back for this one day just to talk to him. So that is really the story in a nutshell, and the only other thing I can really say without spoilers is how much I love this movie and how great it is and how it's perfect for all ages. Everyone should go see this movie. That's all I can say without spoilers. So this is gonna be the spoiler section. All the spoilers. So if you have seen this movie, this is your section. If you haven't, I really suggest you go see it before you watch this part. So first off, I wanna talk about these characters, starting with the character that I was not expected to love as much as I did. Guinevere the van. The van in this story is such almost a pivotal part and really a character in itself. I'm not really sure if it was the dad's passed down to the oldest brother Barley, but somehow he gets this van and completely fixes it up, and it's just so majestic. It's got this giant unicorn on the side, and he just loves it so much, and it goes down in such this blaze of glory that you become so attached to this van. It's such a pivotal part of the story, I felt like I have to talk about it. But this movie is really about our main character, Ian Lightfoot. What I loved about him is how he would make lists, like, cause that's me, I am a list maker, and so he had that list of all the things he wanted to do with his dad, even like his list on, okay, invite friends, be bold, invite them for cake, like all the lists that he had from beginning to end, and that pivotal tearjerker scene at the end when he realizes, as he's looking this list of all the things he wanted to do with his dad, he had done already with his big brother Barley, who probably was my favorite character in this movie. And if you did not love this character, then you don't love this movie, because he is the heart and soul of this movie. And it could not have been played by a better character than Chris Pratt. There's no way anybody could have done this better than him. So he's obviously older, but he has this just love for life because he's so passionate about this game that he plays, I think Quest of Yore, and it's all about history, but nobody really sees that but him, and how he helps them so much in this journey by all the things he's learned from this game, and he just knows, and he trusts his gut, and he's so lovable. And yeah, I could see how everybody else sees him as almost a screw up, but people like that who are just passionate about things are not wrong about how they live their life. It's just a different way, and most of the time they are so much happier, and you see that in this character. He just believed so much that they could bring their dad back because he believed that magic was still existed, and that's why he was the first one to try the spell to bring the dad back. But obviously he did not have magic like Ian did. I want to talk a quick second about the mom, because as much as she is kind of a minor character, I love the mom because she's so spirited and she wants to help her boys, but she also wants them to meet their father, but she has a new boyfriend that she's not shy about, and I thought she was a really great character as well. Not just a filler character, she was like a kind of a pivotal part of the story, especially at the end when she's battling the dragon and trying to help. It was great. Of course, we have the Manticore, and like I mentioned, the boyfriend, and those are pretty much our only characters, including the dad, which it's hard to really talk about him because he's just kind of there, and there's so many funny moments with the dad, but it's not about the dad. It's about how the brothers interact with the dad. So those are our characters. I kind of rambled a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit about my favorite scenes of the movie, and let's see if you guys agree with me or not. I love the gas station scene because when Ian is doing the spell to grow the gas tank, and Barley's just so excited that he thought Ian had successfully used magic to make this gas tank large, and he did not. It was kind of, he still wasn't mad. He was just like, oh, okay, well, let's go get gas now. And then when they fight with those like pixie characters, it was just like, oh my god, this is too much. And then when when Ian has to drive and Barley's just like that combination angel devil on his shoulder, he's like, you have to merge, and he's just like, oh, he's so into this quest and how he talks and encourages everybody. It's just that I think that may be one of my favorite scenes because of Barley and how much I love this character. And then I love at the end of their quest when they end up exactly where they started. I thought that was such a great twist, because how often do you really see that happen in a movie? Like, normally they end up at the top of the mountain or some exotic location at the center of the earth, but they ended up right where they started. And sometimes journeys are just like that. You set out to do this grand thing and you've done it and you just end up where you were, which is fine, but you have this whole new experience to say you did, I guess. But I thought it was a fun twist, and obviously they needed to go on that journey to get the little piece of slab that goes in the fountain to get the stone. But like I said, it was a good twist that I wasn't expecting, and it kind of makes you think like, everything's in your own backyard if you really want it. But I think the best moment of this movie, which really kind of makes it classic Pixar and such a lovable movie, is when Ian realizes, as he's looking at his list of all the things he wanted to do with his dad and he's crossing them off, and he realizes, but I have done all these things with my brother. And he realizes that his brother has been there in place of his dad, and he's always been there for me, and I have done all these things that I wanted to do with dad in just a different way. And I thought that scene in the movie, it was just like, it's a tearjerker, but it was still like, yeah, he didn't have a dad, but he hasn't missed out, but he still had someone. I don't know how to describe it. It was just one of those movie moments you're like, I feel so good. And then one of the bigger twists in the movie was that kind of once he realizes he doesn't need to meet his dad, but that he wants his brother to have closure from that fourth memory where he didn't get to say goodbye, and he gives up his quest to meet his dad to let his brother finish his. It's just, I I'm at a loss for words for this movie because it was just, I laughed so hard. Like, don't get me wrong, this movie was so funny, mainly because of Chris Pratt as Bartley, but there were so many great moments. Those are some of my favorite scenes. But what I also love about Pixar is the detail, and there is so much detail in this movie that it's almost distracting, because like in the scene where they're in their kitchen at their house, every piece of food or every box of cereal is labeled something fun, like everything, and I'm trying to read everything in the background, and I almost like miss what they were saying in the scene because I'm looking for the Pizza Planet truck, I'm looking for the Pixar ball, I'm listening for John's voice, I'm just looking for all those Easter eggs that Pixar puts into their movies, and that's why I feel like you have to see it multiple times. The first time, just watch the story, and the second time, look at all the details, because I didn't see the Pizza Planet truck, even though I'm gonna give you a clue if you didn't see it. It's not Pizza Planet, it's Pizza Realm, which is brilliant. They alter worlds so brilliantly. So they have all these magical creatures in a real world. It's just like toys as humans, cars as humans, and all these magical creatures, modern world. It's just that classic Pixar that we know and love, and they just, like Disney, do it in the details. That is pretty much what I would sum up this movie. There's so many details and a brilliant story. And I hate to say this because there's a lot of, I'm gonna say it first. So this movie to me felt a lot like Frozen, except with brothers instead of sisters. Like one brother has magic, one sister has magic, they go on an adventure, go on a quest, and in the end they realize how much they mean to each other. So if you like Frozen, even if you don't like Frozen, you still should go see this movie because it's just, I have to apologize because I feel like I just mumbled and stuttered through this whole video, but I really love this movie and I'm having a hard time describing why. But if you've seen it, you know why. I guess that's all I can say. My name's Aubrey. I make new videos every Thursday, so make sure you subscribe and follow me on all my social media, and I will see you guys next week. And let's go for Onward! The moment that was completely unexpected for me was at the very, very end, and I've never laughed so hard in a movie theater, and I don't know why, but I just thought it was hilarious, was when the boyfriend, the police officer, Centaur, takes off his police cap and that mane of hair comes out and it's just like slow motion whip. I laughed so hard because that character was so odd, and I just thought that moment was so funny.